You need to be careful whenever you are assisting clients whenever it comes to cyber liability insurance. It's common for a client to ask for assistance when filling out a questionnaire or responding to inquiries from their insurance providers. It's important that you have established processes and documentation around the how, when, and why these questionnaires should be filled out. Everyone on your team needs to receive some level of training so they can recognize whenever a help desk ticket or a phone call comes in asking questions related to cyber liability or security controls. As the MSP, you are the professional in the room, and it means you're going to carry a lot of responsibility and risks on behalf of your client. You need to be involved intimately with their discussions around cyber liability insurance in certain ways. But there are considerations and limitations. When assisting a client with filling out a questionnaire or other insurance documentation, do not do it in an ad hoc or a hourly building. Do not do it ad hoc or simply just as hourly billing. This should be defined in your managed services agreements or a statement of work that defines the scope of the engagement, where the responsibilities, and more importantly, where liabilities lay. When you perform work outside of the scope of your MSA, you may lose the protection and indemnifications outlined in your MSA. It's an unnecessary risk that's easily avoidable, so include it in your MSAs from the start. Also, don't just fill out questionnaires either. It takes time and resources to properly fill one out and make any appropriate recommendations for any discovered deficiencies, charge for the service, or at least charge for the time. Also, just because a client is not approaching you about cyber insurance doesn't mean it's not a concern for you. The clients of MSPs, clients are notorious for making assumptions that, the MSP is handling everything because they take care of everything that has anything to do with computers. And it should honestly be something you have a conversation with all existing clients, and it should be part of the onboarding or evaluation period for new clients. This isn't something that you can simply ignore nowadays. Of course, the biggest point of a lot of this is that you're seeking to make sure that you're not allowing clients to shift risk to you without you being compensated for assuming the responsibility for those risks. If a potential or a current client doesn't want to carry their own cyber insurance, and they make comments like, you're taking care of everything, so I don't have to worry about anything. You've got coverage, I don't need it. They're taking advantage of it. They are shifting their risk onto you, and you have to make a decision on what the proper compensation should be for accepting that risk, or if the risk is even acceptable. If something happens, they may have the opportunity to recoup their losses from you. That's why, that third-party cyber liability insurance is so important for MSPs. And you have to decide if the increase in your premium payments because a client recouped their losses by suing you, and your insurance provider to recoup their losses. If they do that, is that going to be worth your client saving money? So think of it in that sense. Your client made a business decision to save money by not buying their own cyber liability insurance because they just assume you're taking care of everything and it's your responsibility to deal with the consequences of something going wrong. Everyone is here today. I hope I hope you walk away today with it being clearly defined in your minds that a client making a decision to save money by not carrying their own cyber liability insurance is too much of a risk. And also that, see it for what it is. They are taking advantage of the relationship with you. They are trying to transfer the liability of risks to you. You have to be very conscious of these types of actions and activities. And I cannot recommend enough transitioning to a practice where if a client does not have cyber liability insurance and data breach insurance of appropriate levels, that you either fire them as a client or work with them to get them properly covered.